Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you celebrate Christmas, I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas and had some time to enjoy with your friends and family. I took a couple days off from the YouTube, now I'm back to do the video. I need to do a couple things. One, I want to explain to you what the heck I'm doing about the animal farm. Because as you guys saw over the last week, the yields in the farms have gone down significantly. So I just want to briefly explain that. Most of you guys have probably seen other YouTubers cover it, so I'm not going to cover it in detail. I just want to let you guys know what exactly I'm doing and my strategy now that those aren't yielding as much as they used to be. Next up, I wanted to take some time off YouTube, so I still have the Christmas giveaway. I've got a 50 drip that we're going to airdrop, so I'll do that in the video as well. And I will reveal my favorite Christmas movie and my favorite line and segment from that movie. So here we go. Let's start off on the animal farm. TBL still sitting at 120 million, so it's decent. It's obviously down quite a bit because pig's price fell and dog's price fell. As soon as the yields fell in the farms and pools, a lot of people, I believe, took that money out and stuffed it over into pigs. So we saw about a $5 or $6 increase in pigs, which is pretty significant. And we're starting to finally see some selling pressure in dogs. The reason is, of course, tax reduction is down to about 50% right now. So those folks that farm those dogs for free are, well in profit. So a lot of those guys are going to be taking profits, which of course is going to reduce the dog's price. For me, it kind of makes it more valuable. I can pick them up for cheaper, but as long as those transactions are happening, then the yields on owning the dogs are a little bit better. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Personally, just because I do want to buy more over the next couple months, I wouldn't mind seeing the pig's price fall a bit and the dog's price fall a little bit more. Now, there's some crazy predictions on dogs regarding how far they're going to go down. Some people are saying $10, $15, $20. I think that we'll get into the low 20s. That's pure speculation, but I think at some point, once we get to that, 60, 70% tax reduction rate, there's going to be a handful of people that could utilize that capital. We're still in a bear market. People are draining drip because they need the money. People are going to drain other assets because they need the money. And as soon as that tax reduction's down low enough, that's going to happen. When that happens, we could start to see a flush, like I said, down into the low 20s. At that point, I will be accumulating a lot more. All this stuff, since we're in a bear market right now, all this stuff is a long-term play for me. Everything on the animal farm is a long-term play, so if I'm buying pigs and then it goes down to 50, I'm not worried about it because I don't plan on really selling them at least anytime soon, if ever. And obviously that's because that's just paying me out in BUSD. On the dog side, I've got a strategy I worked out in my head. I'll probably make that another video because it's enough information that it could be all on its own. But I do have a long-term strategy for dogs. I'm going to hold them for a long time, but there are some specific instances where I'm going to sell them. And like I said, I will cover that in another video that's just specifically on my dog strategy. Now, a couple things. Not financial advice. I just have to say that because there's a bunch of people out there who may say, Scott told me to do this or that. This is not financial advice. I do this for educational purposes only. This is my story. And two, what I'm finding is every time I create a strategy, something changes and then I got to pivot. So if you watch my videos a month ago, I had a little bit different strategy. Now emissions rates have changed and all sorts of things have happened. And that of course makes me readjust my strategy. So don't be surprised if something crazy happens and Forex makes a change. If I have to pivot again and say, okay, this is my new strategy based on this new information and based on these new metrics. But that's how it goes. We should all be used to things changing a lot. There's certain things that I'm gonna sit still and not adjust too much, and there's certain things I'm gonna keep super fluid. So anyway, in a video, I think it was probably early last week, I dropped about $5,000 into the farms, and at that time, this was yielding me about $35, maybe a little bit more. I'll have to go back and watch the video, but it was at least $35, and now it dropped down to only yielding me $12.60 today, 60 cents a day, and of course also today. But that yield basically went down by about 65%, so massive reduction in what I was getting paid out. My goal is to get that from 35 up to 50, and then 50 to 100, and then keep growing the position from there. But the yields fell massively and pretty much overnight. And the reason is the dynamic supply control algorithm. This is set up to change the emissions. It's kind of a supply and demand structure. So when there's more demand, it increases the emissions, and when there's less demand, it decreases it. And with that, it will decrease and increase the yields. Now, there's a couple YouTubers that did like really good breakdowns on this and spent like a full half hour on it. I don't really need to. You've probably seen it over there. But the moral of the story is when the demand's up, those emission rates are going to change. When the demand's down, those emission rates are going to change. So we're going to see a fluctuation in APRs due to that. So is there a chance this could go back up and, I could start getting paid more? Of course there is. And of course, the APRs are going to change depending on how saturated each pool is. So as you can see, dogs BUSD down to 82, dogs BNB down to 66, drip USD is down to 75. So like I said, these are cut by 60-65%. So it's a pretty big reduction across the board. And what happened last week is a lot of people saw that massive reduction and said, hey, I'm not making as much money. They pulled some of their liquid funds out of the farms and put it into what they felt was the strongest asset, which of course is pigs. So I think we saw a nice boost in pigs. Forex also posted a couple things in Telegram saying, hey, now is a good chance to buy pigs before the injections happen, and so you have the voting rights and all that type of stuff. So I think that hyped pigs up a little bit. People see that, they hear Forex talking about an individual asset, and they say, you know, he must want people to gravitate there to get benefited, so we're going to do that. So that's what happened. Pigs price increase. I wish I would have known. I might have played this all a little bit different, because like I said, over that 2-day period, I put 5 or 6 grand into the farms. And if I had waited a couple extra days, I may have adjusted. I may have just thrown it all in pigs or whatever. But hindsight's 2020. I made the decision I made. What am I doing? A lot of people, like I said, sold their farm position and took it over into something else. And I sat and thought about what exactly I wanted to do with mine. Should I pull it out? Should I buy a bunch of dogs and create, throw them in the linear dog pound and just create a bunch of B&B? So I've got that channel. Should I sell it all and just buy a bunch of pigs and build up my pig pen position? Pig pen position is up to almost 92 pigs. I want to get that over 100 just so I can be in the cool kids club. So I have some choices to make, and I've been spending a little bit of time on it. And here's what I've decided. Even though these dropped by 65% and I'm making 1/3 of what I was before, I'm actually going to keep my assets in here. And for me, it's all about diversification. So of course I'm bullish on pigs, I'm bullish on dogs, I'm bullish on everything in the Forex ecosystem over time. But I would say that those assets are higher risk than just like a standard blue chip crypto, right? Like, are dogs and pigs a higher risk than Ethereum? Yes. What about BNB? Of course. Bitcoin, Chainlink, Cake, all that type of stuff. Since those are much larger cryptos, they have much larger market caps, they got a lot more liquidity, they're sold on a variety of different platforms, they're going to have more stability. Are they going to see the massive growth that maybe these assets might? I really don't know. But I do think, in my opinion, they're going to be a little more stable. So what I've decided to do is, even though I'm making a lot less per day, which is pretty frustrating because I was at the point where I was, making a dog a day, even though I'm making a lot less, I'm going to hold on to my assets in the farm. And it's just a hedge. It's just to help me diversify more my portfolio. So if anything happens to some of these, the native assets, I'm still going to have Cake, still going to have Ethereum, Chainlink, still going to have BNB, still going to have these other assets that I can fall back on. I wanted to really buy some of those anyway and just let them sit. I do have another wallet that's, cold storage wallet that's offline that I have some blue chips in that I'm just going to let sit there. I'm not even going to throw on the farm and let them earn yield, even though that seems like it's a much smarter play. But for the ones that are here and the blue chips that are here, I am going to hedge my bets by keeping those assets on the farm. I'm still earning free dogs. Periodically, I will DCA and add a little bit into it. Right now, I'm making about $4,600 a year. I would like to at least get that to double, try to round off at least like 10 grand a year from this. And if it just sits here and accumulates my dogs, that's fine, because what am I going to do with dogs? I'm going to stuff them over into the dog pound and just earn B&B or earn pigs with it. Like I said, there's going to be a point where I want to sell dogs because I've got a specific strategy to do that. I don't know that I'll sell pigs for any reason. Maybe at some point, if I've got a play, I want to sell off 10 pigs and the price is super high, maybe I'll do that. But for the time being, I just want to earn that BUSD. So right now I've got 35, almost 36 over in the linear pool, and then 25 over here. I'm going to build these both up to 50 and see where we go from there. Pig pen is still looking really good for me. Like I said, I'm up to almost 92 pigs. I'm going to try to add a few more over the next few days, see where I can get it by the end of the year. It might be 2, 3, 4 more pigs. So we'll see, but it's still churning me out. I forget what it is. I think it's pretty close to 15 bucks a day. So while that's not a ton of money, 15 bucks a day is half a dog every single day. So I'm not complaining about that at all. Money is money, and especially in a crypto bear market. I'm getting real close to the point where my drip wallet's gonna max out, and I'm gonna put at least 50% of those funds that I cash out every day directly into pigs. I just wanna build up this pig pen position so I can get some liquid BUSD coming pretty much every day. So the whole reason I made the video was just I needed to decide what I was going to do with the farms. I'm not going to pull it out I'm gonna leave it in here, and the reason is I like the underlying assets that I own, that I've staked in the farms. I really want to take advantage of those if they 2x, 3x, 4x, 10x. Those have tremendous potential in addition to the assets that are on the farm. So I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, and for that reason, this is what I'm doing. I know a lot of other people are like that, saying I can earn more if I go into this category, and I agree with you. In some cases, that is very much true. But for me personally, I'm going to spread things out a little bit, try to build up my farm position. I'm going to keep trying to go heavy into pigs, and I'm just going to DCA into dogs and see where this thing goes. So anyway, that's my strategy. Let me know what you guys are doing. I know for a fact that a bunch of you sold out of your positions last week and moved everything over into pigs. But I'm interested to see if anyone else did anything different, because that's the main thing that I heard in the chats. All right, so let's move on. So a bunch of people on one of my last videos to do the 50 drip airdrop giveaway, I said, hey, all you have to do is post in the comments down below your favorite Christmas movie and your wallet address, and that'll get you one entry. And if you want an additional entry, you just have to post your favorite line from that Christmas movie. And we had a bunch of awesome entries. Let me bring it up. All right, we had a lot for Elf. Elf is a really good one. One of my favorites for sure, and it is my kid's favorite, so that was awesome. There's so many good lines in that movie. All these movies have really good lines, but you sit on a throne of lies, cotton-headed Niggy Muggins. So there's a bunch of good ones in here. So thank you guys for playing along with this. This is pretty good. It's a Wonderful Life, an instant classic. Christmas Story, absolute classic. Someone put Back to the Future in here. Is Back to the Future a Christmas movie? If so, that's the first I've heard of it. Home Alone, another absolute classic. This is my wife's favorite, so we've already watched this once, if not twice, in the last couple weeks. And I could go on and on. Honorable mention, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, this is an awesome show, totally underrated. A lot of people haven't watched it. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. It's very funny, a very feel-good deal. And my favorite part of that is when he's trying to get the rental car. He goes off on a tangent, and it's hilarious. I don't remember exactly what he said, but there's a couple expletives in there, so I won't say it. There is a line in that movie. You'll be familiar with it if you like the movie, and you'll understand the reference. He says, "Where's your other hand?" He says, "It's between two pillows." Those aren't pillows. So if you know what I'm talking about, that's another hilarious scene and another really great Christmas movie. And then another absolute classic, to me, there's no debate this is a Christmas movie, is Die Hard. My favorite line in that movie has an expletive, but that one is just absolutely awesome too. I haven't watched it yet. I might try to squeeze it in like tonight or tomorrow or something like that, so I can get it in before the new year, because I really, really enjoy Die Hard. But my favorite Christmas movie of all time, and one I have to watch every year if I can, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And this one is just chock full of amazing lines, super funny stuff. But my favorite one, probably in the whole movie, is pretty long. So what I'll do is I'll put the link to that clip in the description below so you guys can go watch it. It's right in here. This is the part where Clark gets the Jelly of the Month Club deal, little certificate or whatever. And then he goes off on a rant and starts talking about wanting someone to deliver his boss as a Christmas gift. So this is it. This is the scene. Starts about 1 minute in, but he goes off on like a 1 minute rant, and it's absolutely hilarious. So for those of you who share their favorite Christmas movie with me, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is my absolute favorite. All right, on to the giveaway. So what I did is people who put a movie line in there got double entries. People who just put the movie got a single entry, so one list is going to be longer. I just put it in 2 wheels, and anyone who got double entries is on both wheels. There's a lot of people who didn't put their wallet address, so I apologize for that, but I don't have the time to track people down. So we're just going to spin the ones where people put their wallet address. So here we go. Two spins, 25 drip apiece. All right, the first winner is Crypto Tile Guy. Let's see what movie they picked. Crypto Tile Guy picked Elf. You Sit on a Throne of Lies was his term. Congratulations, buddy. Let me mark that, and I will shoot these out. By the time the video posts, you'll already have that 25 drip in your faucet. Next up, let's spin again. Joe Ingersoll. Joe Ingersoll's favorite movie was A Christmas Story, and his favorite line is "Fragile, it must be Italian." If you don't know what that reference is, it's when they get the leg lamp. Which, by the way, my neighbor has a perfect one of those leg lamps. It's actually a digital screen, and so it looks like it's in the window. But I drove by the other day and saw it. I'm like, that is absolutely awesome. So that's it, guys. I will kick those airdrops out right now. I'll post the video. got a couple big things coming up this year. You guys wanted me to mix up the content. I got some interviews from some familiar YouTubers that you guys requested that I get on with. Got a couple big names on the hook, so may end up doing some interviews with some bigger names. And I've also got a couple projects that I'm really interested in. One launches really early January, and a couple other have either just launched or just about to launch as well. So we'll see. Some of those are I feel real solid about. Some of them are total degen plays. We'll throw in a B&B or two and just see if we can churn out some yield. Trying to have a little more fun on the channel this year, create a little bit more content. Obviously, some of the developments with Drip Network and everything are coming out slow. And since they are, we got to fill the void. So hopefully we can mess around. You guys will enjoy the content. We can make a little bit of money along the way. Then when everything starts popping off with the Drip Network again, I'll have all this additional B&B that of course I can throw at it. So that's the idea. Hope you guys are having fun with the channel. Happy investing.